So today let's talk about winding. How many times have you been in positions where you're practicing winding and you end up looking just like this? Super linear and just hands going up and down. If that's all you know how to do, I've got a fix for that with a great drill that's up next. Jeff Tsai, Forte Swordplay. So today we're going to talk about winding. We've talked about winding in the past. And actually getting people to learn winding is very difficult if you don't have someone you can wind with. So sorry, it's very difficult to give a solo drill here to help with that, and I'm not going to be doing that today. I'm going to be giving a partner drill, okay? And so when you can get someone to do this with you, I'm going to give you sort of like a physical analogy first. So a lot of people hopefully have seen this drill that is done in Tai Chi called push hands, right? And you'll notice that what we're doing here, there's a give and take to it, right? So he's trying to push and he actually wants to collapse to my chest, right? And what I'll do is at the very last second, as he's trying to touch my chest, I'm going to redirect, and then I can come in and he's going to redirect, right? So give and take, very, very important. So what does that look like for the sword? So rather than simply just being in this position and just both trying to push forward and trying to win only by going forward with aggression, where's the push and pull? So if we come to here, let's start with an inside bind. Okay, so from here, so what we'll do is we're not going to just simply sit here and drive forward with energy and only use things like the wind in order to actually get an advantage. Because like when I wind, he can wind too, right? There's like both people are going to push forward, and really that's going to lead more towards, okay, I guess we're going to grapple, which is fine. But if we want to actually focus on the winding piece, here's a drill that actually not only gets you to actually do winding stuff, but actually leads to naturally some of the master cut variations, right? So from here, okay, so from here, instead of pushing, when he tries to cut or thrust that point towards me on this side, what I'll do is I'm going to receive, I'm going to yield, and then I'm going to circle around and I'm going to cut and he's going to circle, okay? So all of a sudden, instead of both of us just pushing forward all the time, we now have this stirring motion, stir, right? So if Cody step back for a second. So what's really happening here is I'm cutting, but then I'm yielding, cutting, yielding. If you look at this pattern, you might recognize it from the Abneben taking off pattern, but you might also recognize it, if I expand this a little bit, it's also basically the same motion that's used for the Ausstreichen, figure 8, and even variations like the Moulinet, right? Except in this case, I'm not catching something on this side, I'm yielding on this side, pulling that to the side, okay? So that's on the inside, right? So as we do this, we can do that big, we can do it small, right? And so we can also do footwork with it, right? We can easily circle. And you'll notice that like our bodies also want to lean certain ways to kind of get out of the way or lean in to actually make the attack. The other thing as we start playing this game is notice like when we're cutting in, we're naturally cutting in with the long edge. But once we start throwing in little variations like with the short edge, interesting things happen like, ooh, right here, yeah. So that pattern that resulted, we were doing this, and then if I attack here, that results in this pattern, right? So interestingly, we went from something that was this sort of figure 8 pattern, or this taking off pattern, to all of a sudden this. This is one of the things that you can actually switch into, okay? So very natural, just by doing that, you can actually transform from a Zorn Zorn Obnamen winding to a Scheel Crump drill. And in fact, we'll do it one more time, and this time, one of the things that the person doing the Scheel should be looking for is actually trying to see if they can hook the neck, right? So here we go. And if I don't close that crump cleanly enough, that's what should happen, right? So this is a good way to work on making sure that the crump is good enough to close it, but that you're also being aggressive enough, high enough with that hook when you're doing the Scheel to actually get the neck. So that is half of the universe, okay? So we did this stirring where we actually start in this bind. Okay, so if that's half the universe, what's the other half? Guess what? So actually, start here again. So don't even, don't move. Literally, it's just this, okay? So instead of a inside bind, outside bind. And from here, I attack, and he's gonna, yep, there you go. So naturally, we get that same stirring, and there we go. So same sort of deal. You can also get the crump Scheel pattern happening on the other side simply by taking the attack with the long edge and switching it to one of the attacks with the short edge. That's it. I'm gonna leave it super simple, just like that. We showed that drill a couple weeks ago using sticks. You can definitely do this just with sticks, but you can also do it with the blade, which will help keep you more honest in terms of keeping track of, are you attacking with the long edge or the short edge? Good enough for now. I'd love some feedback on this video, just because it often seems to be like winding is one of those things that you don't know what you don't know until you start working with somebody who actually has a broader skill set and experience with it. So yeah, find a partner, try this out, see if just trying to get into that crump Scheel drill where you can actually get that hook on the neck is something you guys can get to using this drill, okay? See you in the next one.